From Louisville, WDRB News in the Morning starts now.
Good morning. It is 8 o'clock on your Sunday, October 6th, 2013. If you're just waking up, we have a lot of weather going on out there. We're waking up to some high water levels after yesterday when it was already, at least 6 inches overnight.
Rained for a while, yeah. And we had that flash flood emergency that was in effect for a while, too. That has been allowed to expire, right, Rick?
Exactly. That is just canceled, but rain continues to come down fast and furious across the area. The bottom line here, even though that emergency is canceled, you still have to take it easy. If you don't have to be out, please just stay inside early on today. There are numerous road closures, and it's because of all this. You see so much rain showing up here on Storm View HD. We'll take you in a little closer through Jefferson County. Still some light to moderate rain as we go downtown here, indicated by some yellow. It extends all the way out through Cordon, down to the south, Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, and into Taylorsville, getting some bursts of heavier rainfall here. Downpours extend all the way from Harrisonville through Shelbyville and up toward Eminence here. And so Shelby, Spencer County, out toward Henry County, getting their fair share of some rain at the moment. We have steady rain basically across almost all of southern Indiana, even some embedded bursts of rain around Paoli and just to the south of Bedford here, where we have some stronger storms. You have to travel down to the south and to the west, right along 65 there, from Mount Washington down through E-Town into Munfordville, the leading edge of that rainfall. Areas from Campbellsville, Lebanon, Columbia haven't seen much rain at all here, and it looks like your fair share of rain is starting to slowly work in your direction. This front is barely moving here, but we'll track it for you as it tracks off to the northeast. Linwood, about 20 minutes, expect some rain here, and 25 to 30 minutes, Cox Creek, getting your share of rain of all this activity here, working its way to the north and to the east. We have more rain to go, but you look down toward Hopkinsville, Paducah, Kentucky. That's some hope right there. A little dry slot of air will give us a break in the action here, but a lot more rain to get through as we head throughout the day today. More on and off in nature here, and that could add up to possibly another 1 to 3 inches of rain in some locations. Flash flood warning for Jefferson County. We have flood warnings for Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings County, and a good chunk of the area shaded in green under a flood watch. And that doesn't expire until 11 o'clock tonight. So really something you want to keep in mind here as you head throughout your Sunday. Here's a shot sent in from Bent Creek Apartments by Juanita. And basically, you can see that river, that road there, river, a lot of flooding going on here, and we continue to see pictures coming in. Please send them into the WDRB weather page or the WDRB weather app as we go throughout the rest of your day. Temperatures gradually drop behind that front later on this afternoon, but the flooding issues, they will continue.
Rick, thank you. LMPD's Swift Water Rescue Team is on standby this morning after helping more than 200 people overnight.
WDRB's Lindsay Allen is on Peabody Lane in Bashford Manor, where you can see just how bad the flooding is this morning. Lindsay?
Yeah, and guys, police have their hands full this morning. They are coming around to different locations, setting up barricades, making sure that people are okay. Let me show you what's going on behind me here. We're in the Bashford Manor area, Peabody Lane, and you can see police trying to set up some barricades there because this road, Peabody Lane, completely flooded. We've got cars that are submerged. Residents who live in some of the apartment complexes here have been evacuated. Here's a look at the numbers. MetroSafe tells me they've had to assist about 250 people overnight getting out of their cars or apartments or homes. 12 actual rescues. 82 people have been evacuated. MetroSafe says the worst of the flooding in the Beargrass Creek area. People have been evacuated early this morning from Rockcliffe Court and Peabody Lane, where we are in Bashford Manor. Also a tough area this morning, Highview and Newburgh. The Red Cross is working with JCPS and TARC, trying to get people to shelters. Evacuated residents have been taken to Atherton High School and the Greater Faith Missionary Church off of Shepherdsville Road in Buchel.
We don't know how many people to expect, but we're prepared and ready to accept all that needs the assistance from us.
And guys, let me tell you, MetroSafe sent us a list of road closures this morning that was at least 3 to 4 pages long. I'm sure we're only getting more road closures as the morning continues and the rain just keeps coming down on us. The good news to report is there have been no injuries, no deaths to report because of this flooding. Just try to keep it safe. Don't go through that high water. Turn around. You don't want to be the guy in the car behind me. Reporting live in Bashford Manor, I'm Lindsay Allen, WDRB News.
Thanks, Lindsay. Hopefully you can find some shelter. We do have a full list of those road closures on our website, WDRB.com. Just click on the button. And that heavy rain forced the St. James Art Show to end a day early.
Yeah, that's right. Organizers say they're upset they had to cancel the last day of the art show. But they met with city officials, and with more rain expected today, they said they'd rather be safe than sorry. Artists started tearing down their booths Saturday afternoon, with the last sales around 5. Some estimate a loss of a few $1,000s.
Well, it's disappointing. I mean, if it was just going to rain, I would rather stay because I think people will come out.
You can still buy from the artist through the St. James website. Planning for next year's festival starts right away. Bridge officials are counting on truckers to help pay the cost for the new Ohio River bridges, but will that bet pay off? Kentucky and Indiana are spending $2.6 billion on the project, with tolls as high as $12 to help fund it. But a WDRB.com analysis shows that many commercial truckers are expected to choose toll-free routes instead of the new toll bridges, like a new I-65 span. That means heavier truck traffic on the aging Sherman-Minton and Clark Memorial bridges. Reporter Marcus Green reveals how much truck traffic is expected to increase and how the tolls will impact truck drivers in his special Sunday edition story. You can find that this morning on WDRB.com.
The Connect website is undergoing maintenance, so you may experience outages this morning. People in Kentucky are showing a lot of interest in the state's new healthcare exchange on the first week of enrollment. The Connect website has received 2.6 million page views since Tuesday. 6,000 individuals and families in the state have officially enrolled in healthcare coverage, and nearly 200 businesses have started applications to cover employees. It goes into effect in January. Indiana is spending millions of dollars on high school advanced placement exams this year, but only 45% of Indiana students who took the tests last year passed them. The national passing rate is 60%. AP courses allow students to earn college credit if they pass the end of the year exam. Indiana will spend $2.8 million this year and $3.3 million next year to cover exam fees. Lawmakers say increased funding will boost participation in the AP program.
U.S. forces capture an al-Qaeda leader linked to the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings in East Africa. Enzaz al-Libi has been wanted by the U.S. for more than a decade. Hundreds of people were killed in the August 1998 bombings in Kenya and Tanzania. Al-Libi was captured outside his house yesterday in Libya. He's now being detained by the U.S. military. U.S. Navy SEALs are also looking for an al-Qaeda suspect this weekend, but haven't found their target. A U.S. official says the Navy SEALs raided a town in Somalia trying to find the suspect. That person is wanted for last month's deadly shopping mall attack in Nairobi. Al-Shabaab militants killed 67 people during that attack. The official says U.S. forces inflicted casualties on Al-Shabaab militants during their search, but no U.S. service members were harmed.
Now WDRB Sports.
The Louisville Cardinals winners in their American Conference opener in Philadelphia, but the win over Temple came with a price. The Cardinals, they were amped up for this one Saturday at Lincoln Financial Field. We'll start the first quarter in the first drive for U of L. 3rd and goal from the 1. Play action from Teddy Bridgewater to Gerald Christian. 7-0 Cardinals. Second drive, Bridgewater goes deep to Devontae Parker. And Parker hauls it in but hits the turf hard. He left the field with a shoulder injury, went to the locker room, did not return. Parker's school record of 10 straight games, well, that was snapped. So we go on to an untimed down at the first quarter. This is 10-0 Louisville now, and then Parker's absence. It's Eli Rogers, got a 30-yard pickup here. Rogers led all receivers with 74 yards. And then on the same drive, Dominique Brown, 2-yard score, 17-zip U of L. 3 minutes left in the half. Temple on the 21-yard field goal attempt. And this is blocked by Lorenzo Malden, recovered by Calvin Pryor. The Cards seeking back-to-back shutouts for the first time since 1972. Plenty of time here left for Teddy. 15-yard strike to Rogers with 37 seconds remaining. It was 24-0 at the half. Temple scored late to avoid the shutout, but it was all Louisville, 30-7. The Cardinals now on Parker's injury.
I think that, once we get them back and get them diagnosed, then we'll see exactly where we are and then go with the process from there. Well, it's big. I mean, you look at a guy who's had a touchdown catch in, the last 10 games. And he's a starter for us. He's been a 2-year starter, so it's a very significant injury.
That's something we can't control. So, we have guys, we have depth at that position. So know we have guys who can step up like today. Kyle Dela Cruz, he came in today, he made big plays for the offense. So, if we have Devontae, we're happy. But if we don't, we still have to continue to just play our Louisville football.
Well, Indiana beat Penn State 44-24 for their first ever win over the Nittany Lions, and UK lost 35-28 last night to South Carolina. That's sports. I'll see you back here tonight.
The haunted house that promises horror fanatics the fright they crave is open for victims.
We may have found the best scare in Louisville, but that's up for you to decide. Meanwhile, Rick DeLuca has had a busy morning in the Weather Center. Rick?
Absolutely. A stormy Sunday underway with more rain to get through just yet. You can see Stormview HD lit up with showers and thunderstorms here. We'll track the rain for you, let you know how much more to expect and exactly when it all comes to an end. There's a live shot out there. Bashford Manor, Peabody Lane. Look at that car just submerged in water.
Live look right there at Peabody Lane as we welcome you back to WDRB in the morning. It's very telling about what happened overnight. Some of that water is starting to recede. It looks like just a little bit, which of course is a great thing. But man, those flood waters overnight were pretty bad.
Yep, barricades are up. Several road closures to tell you about this morning. You can find them all on our website, WDRB.com. And if drivers do come across something like that and the road isn't closed yet, they should find another way.
Absolutely. The bottom line here, just play it safe. If you don't have to be out this morning, just stay inside. I mean, radar still has a lot of rain showing up here on. It's actually more areas seeing rain than we have dry areas right now. We'll take you in tighter to Jefferson County and show you what's going on here. You can see light to moderate pockets of rain continue across Louisville Metro here. And then as you get a little further off to the east, that's where we have the leading edge of some of these showers and downpours here. You can see some quick bursts of rain extending just out of Shelbyville, moving into Taylorsville right now. And then there's more heavy rain moving in your direction as all of this tracks off to the east and to the northeast here. Southern Indiana, a lot of steady rain. But here's a good sign here, some little dry pockets, little holes in radar. And that's a brief little break from some of the action we've seen early on this morning. Down from Borden through Cordon, you see more of this light to moderate rain continuing. Down to the south is where we have some stronger storms. The leading edge from Bardstown extending through Magnolia down into Munfordville. Some lightning strikes. You see those little white squiggles showing up. Each one of those is a lightning strike detected by Stormview HD. All this heads to the north and to the east. So we'll time it out here for you. Bardstown already seeing some light showers, but some more heavier rain coming in around 10 to 15 minutes or so. Ward's about a half hour from now. You'll see some showers in Bloomfield about 30 to 40 minutes from now. You will also get in on some of the shower and thunderstorm activity. Our southeastern counties have not seen much rain just yet, but trust me, your fair share is coming as all of this travels up to the north and to the east, out ahead of a cold front. And this is a powerful, powerful cold front. We've been talking about it for days now, causing severe weather back off to our west here and causing feet of snow in parts of the Dakotas. What we have out ahead of it is this fetch coming off the Gulf of Mexico, feeding that front a whole lot of moisture, and that translates to heavy rain here in Kentucky. And now, as a result, with all the rain in the area, we do have a flash flood warning for Jefferson County, Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings County under a flood warning. And all those counties shaded in that light green indicates a flood watch, and that doesn't expire until 11 o'clock later on this evening here. So we'll show you some of the photos we got. This one, I mean, just ridiculous here. That Highlands, you see feet of water in the basement here, and there's a lot of reports coming in of damage here. So if you haven't gone in the basement just yet, some people, chances are, you're going to find some damage down there. Out there right now, shades of gray, a cloudy, gloomy start, 66 degrees your temperature, your dew point 66. The air is saturated, the ground is saturated. It cannot hold any more water, unfortunately. We have more rain on the way. The heaviest, the steadiest rain, that comes through this morning. So if we can make it through the next couple of hours, we should be in better shape here. Notice around 1 o'clock, we start to see this break apart, a little lull in the activity here, but then when that front energizes later on this afternoon as it slowly marches off to the east, we could see a flare-up of additional showers and storms. Best chance along our eastern counties later on this afternoon. By 11 o'clock, it's out of here. Good thing. Basically, we get to dry out overnight tonight. We could still see a stray shower here tomorrow, but I think we're going to turn our attention after today to the cooler temperatures that build in by tomorrow afternoon. Highs will only be topping out in the low to middle 60s. So here's a look at what to expect in terms of rainfall. We've already seen 6 inches plus in some locations, and on top of that, an additional 1 to 2 inches possible for a majority of us in some localized spots could see another 3 inches of rain. So flooding concerns continue all day long today. 68 for your high. Temperatures continue to drop as we head through the afternoon hours. It's cloudy, a really wet, damp, and dreary day. As we go through tonight, we start to dry out. It cools down 47 degrees as we start off Monday morning. Still a lot of clouds here on Monday with all that moisture around 64 degrees, but we start to dry things out through the early part of the week. Tuesday, 69. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, really nice October weather with highs in the mid to upper 70s.
Ready to dry out. Thanks, Rick. Thousands of walkers and runners get moving at Waterfront Park to support people with Down syndrome.
More than 3,000 people came to the 16th annual Steps to Independence 5K walk and run on Saturday. Many people had personal reasons to support the cause.
I have a 14-year-old grandson who was born with Down syndrome. I started as a volunteer, and now I'm in my dream position because I get to advocate and support individuals with Down syndrome.
Lindsay Allen and David Scott also showed up to participate. So far, the event raised $170,000. People who are interested in volunteering can find a link on our website, WDRB.com. Just click on the button. Once the calendar reads October, Halloween fanatics come out of their shells.
That's right. They search and search for the best scare possible here in Louisville, and we may have found just the place for them.
Skulls, demons, monsters, blood. What's become Halloween season is back.
It's definitely become, an even larger holiday from when I was a kid.
A lot of that has to do with the creepy shows that keep people interested in months that aren't October.
Stuff that's on TV, the American Horror Stories, and the Walking Dead. Those really, help to, like you said, bring Halloween together all year round.
Devil's Attic on West Hill Street is cashing in on the craze. It's one of the places already open for business this year. From the outside, the appearance of the building itself will get you in the mood. The inside is even better, with something around every corner that you won't see coming.
One thing that we strive to do here is make people feel alive, and one way to do that is by scaring you.
That they're doing with scenes out of The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and with characters like Lucifer himself.
They are going to see the evilest of evil. This is my top shelf collection of souls that I've been storing up since the dawn of time.
There's some comic relief, too.
Most of the time it's a little warm where I'm from, so it's nice to get up here to Kentucky where it cools off a little bit.
It's all to give horror fanatics the fright they crave and wait all year for.
Where are you? Don't make me come for you. Don't.
Wow. Yeah, that guy's intense. Devil's Attic will open again next Friday and Saturday. Tickets to get in are $17.
I feel like they're coming for me. Jeez.
We actually had him say, "Kelly Davis, where are you?" But we didn't air that one. We thought we already joke around with you too much. I get messages all the time. "You're so mean to Kelly. Why are you so mean?"
It's just all in good fun.
It's all love.
Or so I think.
Yeah.
Time now, 8:21 on your Sunday. A chocolate shop tries to make it into the record books with a gigantic sweet treat.
The way the candy makers pulled off this 229-pound peanut butter cup.
Time now 8:24. We are completely waterlogged early on this morning, and rain continues to fall across the area. We'll take you into Jefferson County, surrounding counties, showing some light to moderate pockets of rain indicated by the yellow. Orange and red tell you we have a quick little burst of rain that extends from Mount Washington up through Taylorsville and into Shelbyville. You are seeing some downpours at the moment, and that's all working its way off to the north and to the east, slowly but surely. Some good little holes in radar here, a lull in the activity, but we have some steadier rain which extends off to the west. More rain from Scottsburg down 65, back out through Borden into Salem. Driftwood, seeing a quick little burst of rain as well. Some stronger storms now lined up further down to the south and to the west from Bardstown down through E-Town, Magnolia, Munfordville. You get a quick little gusty wind, some lightning strikes, and some heavy, blinding rainfall here in the next 15 minutes to half hour or so. And then behind that line, you have more steady rain that will continue to work across the area as we head through the morning hours. We'll track that line as it goes off to the northeast. Bardstown already seeing some showers, but some steady rain likely in about 15 minutes or so as we head further off Down the line here, 28 minutes to a half hour in Wakefield. You will also be seeing some rain, and this is all a piece of a large cold front which is working its way across Kentuckiana today. More rain on the way, and because of all the rain we've already had, and because of the anticipated 1, 2, perhaps even 3 inches on top of that, the National Weather Service still has that flash flood warning in effect. You can see flash flood watches for a good chunk of the area here, and those flood warnings for Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings County. Planning out your day, you want to have the umbrella handy. If you don't have to be out today, the bottom line, folks, just hunker down, stay inside. It's going to be a pretty nasty one. You can see around 100% chance here at 9 o'clock, an 80% chance at noon, and around a 60% chance at 5 o'clock, especially around our eastern counties as temperatures cool back down through the 60s.
Lots of football to watch today. We'll gladly stay home today.
That's not
Thanks,
bad.
Rick. The Stork shows up with a delivery at Halle Berry's house, and Miley Cyrus disappoints on SNL.
Here's a look at what's trending today. It's a boy for actress Halle Berry and her husband, Olivier Martinez. The couple welcomed their first son Saturday. This is Berry's second child. The Oscar winner has a 5-year-old daughter with her ex-boyfriend, Gabriel Aubry.
Jane Fonda is honored for her legacy in Hollywood. Fonda will receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Film Institute. She has won 2 Academy Awards and starred in more than 40 films since her debut in the 1960s, Tall Story.
If you expected twerking from Miley Cyrus like Kelly Davis during her Saturday Night Live gig, you were sorely disappointed. She says now that everyone is doing it, she thinks it's lame. Other than an opening skit about her VMA performance causing the end of America, Cyrus mostly steered clear of controversy. Surprising, and that's a look at what's trending today.
For the record, I was not hoping that Miley Cyrus would twerk last night. Thank you very much.
You did say that you wanted to watch the Miley Cyrus documentary, though.
I do. I just miss the old Miley. I don't know why she has to kill Hannah Montana the way she did.
Chocolate lovers, here's something that you might drool about. And now it's setting a world record, too.
More than 229 pounds of chocolate and peanut butter were combined to make one gigantic peanut butter cup. Nick Monte of Vermont's Village Chocolate Shop saw the sweet dream become a reality on Friday. The big test was to see if the huge treat could stand on its own, and it did.
Now, what's your reaction when you see this peanut butter cup?
I'm pretty overwhelmed. I mean, I'm just really excited. I don't even know how to express words. It's just so much chocolate, and I'm just really excited to get a piece.
And look at that line wrapped around the door. Everyone wanted a taste. All profits from selling the pieces are going to Project Against Violent Encounters, a local organization helping violence survivors. Well, those heavy rains and steady rains continue in the metro area this morning and are causing some major evacuations.
The high water areas you need to be aware of as you're heading out this morning. Lindsay Allen has a live report next. Welcome back to WDRB In The Morning. We're continuing to follow the big weather event that happened overnight. You can see folks out there with those flooded streets, and we heard from just a couple of minutes ago from our reporter out on the scene, Lindsay Allen. Now, there's a car actually driving through the intersection, which is kind of surprising. That's not what people should be doing in this weather. So hopefully other folks out there will make smarter decisions.
And Lindsay did say that the water is starting to recede in that intersection, and hopefully that's the story the rest of the day, but we still are getting rain right now.
Right, it's going to take a long time before we really see things dry out. Still a couple hours here of some heavy rain in some spots, and you can see Storm UHD just lit up with all sorts of colors early on this morning. And you can see that line, which is basically slicing its way through the area as it tracks off to the north and to the east, bringing some moderate to light rain as you head through Jefferson County into downtown Louisville here, around Jeffersontown, out through PRP, Georgetown, all surrounding areas, seeing that light, steady rain at the moment. That light, steady rain continues up through parts of southern Indiana. A couple holes in the radar. That's a good thing. A brief little period, about 5 to 15-minute window, where you'll get a break from the rain, but there is more on the way. Down to the south and to the west we go, and you can see a lot more showers and storms lined up here from Mount Washington down through Bardstown, Magnolia, Munfordville. That's the leading edge here. And our southeastern counties really haven't picked up a drop yet. Your fair share is slowly but surely heading in your direction here. So if you live in Lebanon, Campbellsville, Columbia, just prepare for some rain as we head through the next couple of hours or so. You look down further to the south and to the west, you see around Central City, Morgantown, out toward Paducah, we have a break in the action, and that will give us a little lull in the activity. So if you can make it through the next couple hours and you live in these counties in our western area that's just been drenched all day long, there is some hope in sight here. All right, we'll track this cluster of showers and storms as it moves off to the northeast here, 15 minutes from Summersville and about 20 to 25 minutes from Greensburg. Expect your fair share of rain. And as a result, all this rain continues here. Jefferson County still under a flash flood warning, and basically a good chunk of the area under flood watch is Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings County. You have that flood warning. The watch doesn't expire until 11 o'clock later on tonight. So planning out your day, you want to have the umbrella handy. If you don't have to be out and about today, chances are you're going to run into road closures. So I would just say hunker down, stay inside for a while. Flooding issues continue as temperatures cool down from the upper 60s back down and into the lower 60s.
LMPD's Swift Water Rescue Team is on standby this morning after helping more than 200 people overnight.
WDRB's Lindsay Allen is on Peabody Lane in Bashford Manor, where it looks like the water is starting to recede. Lindsay?
And Chris and Kelly, you mentioned seeing cars and people trying to get through this intersection behind me. That is absolutely what police do not want you to do. They've got these barricades set up for a reason. We are at an intersection that is completely flooded in the Bashford Manor area off of Peabody Lane. This car that you see over there, that at one point was completely submerged with water. It appears that the water's receding just a little bit at this point, although the rain just keeps coming down. The latest numbers I've got from MetroSafe, they tell me they've had to assist 250 people overnight. They had to do 12 actual swift water rescues. 82 people have been evacuated. MetroSafe says the worst of the flooding in this area around Beargrass Creek. People have been evacuated from the Rockcliffe Court and Peabody Lane area here in Bashford Manor, also, though, as well as in Highview and Newburgh. The Red Cross is working with JCPS, also with TARC, to make sure everybody gets to a safe shelter. We've got shelters set up at Atherton High School and the Greater Faith Missionary Church off of Shepherdsville Road in Buchel. We've talked to one woman who was evacuated from an apartment complex in this area. She says the entire first floor of her apartment was flooded.
Actually, it was a shock. I've been in that place for almost 4 years. It flooded last year, but this one was pretty bad.
And guys, you know as well as I do, we got a list of road closures from MetroSafe this morning. Just a ton of areas that we're seeing high water today. If I can show you, though, we are standing over an overpass over this creek, and you can see just how badly this little creek here is flooding up over its banks. Again, the message this morning from police is to turn around. If you see an area of high water, do not try to go through it. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated here on WDRB News and also on WDRB.com. In Bashford Manor, I'm Lindsay Allen, WDRB News.
Lindsay, thank you. We've also been urging our viewers to send in pictures of anything you've seen out there, basements, flooded streets, all that. We have one we want to show you.
Yeah, this is from Charlie Cliff Kuiper. He's actually in Shelbyville, and this kind of illustrates how crazy weather systems can be. I mean, you saw Lindsay Allen's live shot. You see all of the rain falling down, and then you look at his neighborhood, and there's nothing happening. It's clear at this point. So, but that doesn't mean he's out of the woods, as Rick has been telling us all morning.
A nice little break in the action there.
Yeah. Well, the Pentagon orders most of its 400,000 furloughed civilian employees to get back to work.
But there's still no sign of an end to the government shutdown. Molly Henneberg explains what Congress accomplished during its Saturday session.
The Senate adjourned for the weekend without voting on a bill unanimously passed by the House earlier today that would authorize back pay for furloughed federal employees whenever the government reopens. The top Senate Democrat said he thought it was an absurd way to handle a shutdown.
So now what the Republicans in the House are telling, because they're the ones that set the agenda, what they're telling all these federal workers, what we're going to do for you now, even though we don't like federal workers and we haven't given you a raise in 3 years, what we're going to do now is give you a paid vacation. And that's what it is. These people who want to go to work can't go to work.
Republicans see this legislation and other bills passed largely along party lines earlier this week to reopen various government agencies as a way to mitigate some of the difficult effects of the shutdown, while lawmakers continue to negotiate over some of the bigger, more controversial issues like Obamacare.
The Democrats have calculated that by prolonging the shutdown and maximizing the pain, they can bully Republicans into doing whatever President Obama and Majority Leader Reid want them to do. It's a very cynical game. but Democrats have decided to play it.
We're going to stay focused on trying to ease the pain of this shutdown while we continue to ask both the President and the Senate Majority Leader to sit down and talk.
Although House Democrats voted in favor of the back pay legislation today, they, Senate Democrats and President Obama, oppose reopening the government bit by bit, as House Republicans have tried to do this week through legislation. Today, the president pressed House GOP leaders to take a vote to fund the entire government.
Take that vote. Stop this farce. End this shutdown now.
The president canceled his trip to Asia because of the government shutdown, but no meetings are scheduled with the Republicans so far this weekend. Republicans say they're here if the president and Senate Majority Leader Reid want to talk. On Capitol Hill, Molly Henneberg, Fox News.
The government shutdown brings bad news for travelers, tourists, and sightseers this weekend. In New York, the city's federally run landmarks like the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island are closed. Some tourists plan their trips to the city months or years in advance and say they're fed up with the closures.
We purchased tickets to go to the Statue of Liberty and just sightsee and be a good tourist and, really experience New York City. And we're a little upset that we can't go visit now, obviously, because of the government shutdown.
In Washington, D.C., the shutdown means closures at the Lincoln Memorial, the National Zoo, and all Smithsonian institutes.
More than 100 women were encouraged to stay involved in politics at an annual Republican forum. The Kentucky Republican Women's Roundtable Forum was held at the Crown Plaza here in Louisville. The theme of the forum was Step Up. Panelists included a Kentucky state senator, the Jefferson County clerk, and numerous other elected officials. The former personal assistant to President Ronald Reagan was also a national panelist.
We want women across the state and across the country, and the message that we can serve, to appeal to other women.
The Kentucky Republican Women's Roundtable is also a resource for social and political networking and encourages women to run for public office. Well, there's a rumor that dogs can smell a deadly disease, but now scientists are determining how they do it.
Well, what we think is that the cancer smell is like the beef in the beef stew.
What scientists are planning to do with their research in order to catch cancer early. Rick DeLuca, good morning.
Good morning. We still have flooding concerns out there. Rain still coming down very hard across parts of the area. Coming up, I'll let you know how much more rain to expect and when it will finally come to an end.
Jackpot for Tuesday is at $108 million, and Wednesday's Powerball is at $14 million.
Good morning. Welcome back to WDRB in the Morning. We're getting a live look on Peabody Lane in Bashford Manor. We have seen a couple cars try to pass through that intersection. It is blocked off, and officials are telling us when you see something like that, find another way. And that's going to be the story the rest of the day, Rick.
Turn around, don't drown.
Yeah.
That's the phrase
how it
there.
goes.
And there have already been so many water rescues, too. I mean, we heard so many of those overnight.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's a dangerous situation. People not taking this seriously certainly get caught in some dangerous situations out there. And radar is not done with the rain just yet. You can see there's still a ton of color on there indicating some heavy rain falling across parts of the area. Here downtown in Jefferson and surrounding counties, more or less just some steady light to moderate rainfall here. Where you see the yellow, you're getting quick little bursts of rain. PRP, seeing some rain at the moment, the same as you head toward downtown, out toward Jeffersontown. Now, some heavier bursts of rain, some downpours, which extend from Shelbyville down through Taylorsville, all of this heading off to the north and to the east. And you'll see a quick little ½ to an inch of rain as we head through the next couple hours or so. All of southern Indiana, just about everyone getting in on some rainfall right now. Just to the west of Salem, some heavier bursts of rain as well. Driftwood, some pockets of heavier rain as that all lifts to the north here. And then down to the south is where we have some stronger storms here. Nothing severe at the moment. The risk for severe weather rather low, but a lot of lightning here. Quick little gust of wind. Bardstown getting hit with some drenching downpours right now. The same out toward E-Town. And basically you'll see some heavy thunderstorms if you live in Bardstown. And then eventually we see more of that light, steady rain behind that initial line. But that line does pack a punch as it works through. Somerville, 10 minutes, you'll see that rain there. And Greensburg, about 20 minutes from you, you'll get your fair share of rain. But here's something, a little sign of hope. Right around Paducah, you can see this little dry wedge working into the area here. All this activity moving off to the north and to the east, which means we get a break in the activity once this works across Kentuckiana. But still, more rain lined up down to the south. We get this fetch off the Gulf of Mexico, feeding that cold front, a lot of moisture, and that translates to heavy rain for us. And as a result, the National Weather Service still has a flash flood warning in effect for the next couple minutes or so for Jefferson County. That flood watch not going to expire anytime soon. That stays in effect until 11 o'clock later on tonight. A lot of pictures coming in. Thanks to everyone for sending in those pictures here. Here's one around Shepherdsville Road, the Speedway, just covered in water here. So a lot of road closures early on this morning. The bottom line, if you don't have to be out, just stay inside. Here's the tower cam. We need a little windshield wiper on there. You can see raindrops coming down. It continues out here downtown. Temperatures around 66, dew point 66. Both the air and the ground is saturated. We cannot take any more water, and unfortunately, we still have more rain to get through. Now, the next couple of hours will probably be the worst of it here. Notice around 1 o'clock, we get a little break in the action, or at least it lightens up for some of us here. And then as that front works its way slowly but surely off to the east, it re-energizes later on this afternoon. So a couple downpours not out of the question as we head through our eastern counties later on today. Finally, by 11 o'clock, we're done with it. It's out of here. And eventually we'll dry things out overnight. Temperatures cool off down through the 40s. And tomorrow we turn our attention to drying off. And the cooler temperatures will also be a pretty big story. Highs tomorrow only topping out in the low to middle 60s. Now, in terms of rainfall, we've already seen 6-7 inches plus in some locations. On top of that, an additional 1 to 2 inches, and there still could be a couple isolated localized pockets of 3 inches plus. So the flooding concern, it's going to be something you want to keep in mind just about all day long. Your forecast today, temperatures around 68 degrees. Those numbers continue to fall as we head through the afternoon hours. Rain continues. It's just going to be a damp and a dreary day. As we go through the overnight hours, that's when we start to dry out. 47 degrees for your overnight low, a chilly start as you head out Monday morning. Clouds linger, and then eventually late in the day we get a little bit of sunshine around here. More sunshine here on Tuesday, but despite that sun, it's still going to be a cool high of 69 degrees. And then some prime time October weather Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plenty of sunshine with highs in the mid to upper 70s.
It's going to be a beautiful week. Just got to get through today. Thanks, Rick. Here's a look at today's top stories. The Louisville area picked up at least 6 inches of rain in 24 hours, and it's caused heavy flooding around town. Here's a live look at the Bashford Manor area. People living there, as well as Highview and Newburgh areas, were evacuated from their homes, some by boat. The Red Cross set up shelters for those people at Atherton High School and the Greater Faith Missionary Church in Buchel. Drivers are being cautioned not to drive in these high water areas.
The St. James Court Art Show ends a day early this year because of that heavy rain. Organizers met with city officials yesterday and canceled today's events. Artists started tearing down their booths Saturday afternoon with the last sales around 5 o'clock. Some estimate a loss of a few $1,000s.
The Louisville Cardinals played their first ever American Conference game and took home a big win. The Cards rolled over Temple 30-7 in Philadelphia, but there's some major concern for the Cardinals offense after wide receiver Devontae Parker hit the turf hard in the first half and came back to the field with his arm in a sling. And on the other side of the state, the first road for the SEC game in Kentucky Wildcats. UK taking on 13th ranked South Carolina. They fell to the Gamecocks 28-35. At 8:48, that's a look at your top stories on WDRB in the morning. 3 Americans are dead and 2 others injured after a plane crashes in Colombia. A Panamanian National Guardsman was also killed. This is a picture of a Dash 8 aircraft that's much like the one that crashed. The U.S. military says the plane went down in a remote jungle region close to the border with Panama. The plane was contracted by the U.S. government to track speedboats that smuggle cocaine from Colombia into Central America. The military says the plane lost radio contact over the Western Caribbean on Saturday. The 2 injured Americans were rescued by Colombian soldiers and taken to a nearby hospital.
Residents in Newtown, Connecticut plan to tear down Sandy Hook Elementary School and replace it with another building. Town citizens voted overwhelmingly in favor of the plan on Saturday. They expect the building to be demolished before the 1-year anniversary of the mass shooting that killed 20 students and 6 adults. The project will cost $50 million by the time it's done. Town leaders want the new school to open in January of 2016. Well, could your dog sniff out cancer?
Dr. Mark Stiegel explains how some canines are trained to do just that.
More than 14,000 women die of ovarian cancer in the United States every year, one of the top cancer killers. There are no specific symptoms, and the cancer is hidden deep in the body. If found early, most women would survive. Enter man and women's best friend.
Animals are crucial to science. Bats and dolphins led to the development of the ultrasound. Now man's best friend is helping us sniff out cancer before it's too late.
Ovarian cancer has a characteristic odor, and few animals can smell it better than dogs can. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania are figuring out the exact chemicals that dogs smell when they detect this cancer.
When a human smells beef stew, they smell the whole stew. When a dog smells the stew, they smell the different components, the carrots, the meat, the gravy. How does that apply to dogs smelling cancer?
Well, what we think is that the cancer smell is like the beef in the beef stew, and so the dogs can pick out that individual odor of just the beef.
The next step in the process, which takes place at the Monell Senses Center, is to narrow down through analytical chemistry which volatile odor the dog is smelling, and then transfer that information to an electronic sensor or artificial nose.
This is the size of a tumor when it is generally diagnosed. It is hidden, it is inside the female. This is the size when it should be diagnosed. This is an aspirin, and it should be diagnosed when it's about this size. So this is what we are striving for, to go from here, where most of the ovarian cancers are diagnosed today, to here, or even less than this.
When ovarian cancer is found early, more than 90% survive 5 years. Now an unlikely team of veterinarians, chemists, and oncologists, experts who almost never work together, are joining forces to save many lives. In Philadelphia, Dr. Mark Siegel, Fox News.
Well, there's always some rain in the fall, but fall is also filled with delicious foods.
We have some great ways to use pumpkins to make easy and delicious desserts.
WDRB In The Morning is back. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We're talking fall recipes all day, and you can't talk fall recipes without the pumpkin pie, the most important fall recipe there is, right?
Absolutely. Even if you don't like it, you have to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody can make pumpkin pie, your mom, your grandma, maybe even you. But there are some things that you can do to kind of spice it up and make it look cool, and then also maybe taste a little better too.
Yeah. Pumpkin pie is pretty typical. It always looks the same no matter who makes it, just like this. So I'm just going to show you how to use cutters and pie dough to make it pretty. So I have a sheet of pie dough here, and I have some pretty cutters, and you can buy these at any craft supply store. And what I do is I cut these out. I have pumpkins, I have turkeys, I have maple leaves, I have lots of different kinds. And what you do is you're just going to pop that in the oven until it browns up, and you're going to end up with something that looks like this.
And you put that on top of the pumpkin
What
pie,
I'll do
right?
is I'll put maybe some whipped cream in the middle, and then some fall leaves.
Look at that.
Yeah. And also a great way to kind of fake out your guests, maybe at Thanksgiving if you don't have time to make the pie dough. I have here a store-bought pie dough. What you can do is before you put in the oven, just go ahead and crimp the edges, and it'll look homemade. No one will ever know.
Look at that, impressing your guests, and you didn't have to do much of anything.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Robin, thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us this morning, and now it's time for us to eat. So we're going to shut the camera off, okay?
Once again, I did not get any of that either, just
Ate it
for
all.
the record. I'm sharing my goldfish with you, and you don't even give me any pumpkin pie.
She did share her goldfish. Now I feel bad. Maybe I'll bring donuts next week.
You should. Well, we have to tell you what's coming up tomorrow on WDRB In The Morning. We get an exclusive look at what goes on at Ford's Louisville assembly plant each morning as they celebrate their 100th anniversary.
Personal trainer Michelle Yeager-Turner, everybody loves her. She's going to be showing us how easy it is to jump ropes and how it can add to your workout routine.
Got to check in with Rick. Lots going on today with weather.
Yeah, periods of rain continue early on this morning. It starts to slowly but surely taper off later on this afternoon. It ends completely tonight around 11 o'clock or so, but a few more inches of rain is expected. Then we finally start to dry things out here. Monday, a leftover shower, 64. Still cool Tuesday, lots of sun, 69, and then some really nice October weather here. Check out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, plenty of sunshine, low humidity. with highs only topping out in the 70s, low temperatures in the 50s and the 40s, finally starting to feel like fall around here.
When do you think we'll get rid of this rain today?
I think around 10, 11 o'clock or so is when things will finally shut down for everyone, but it looks like our eastern counties get hit this afternoon. So it looks like just keep your guard up right now. We still have rain showing up here on radar, some heavier bursts of rain, some stronger storms as you head across our southeast counties here. Everyone will basically see that rain come to an end later on today, so if you have flooding, just hang tight.
All right, stay with us at WDRB.com. We'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock.
Stay dry out there.